everybody starts to order. I promise I'll walk around, make eye contact, and let you all get a chance to meet me. My name is Michelle Emmons. As mentioned, I'm from the Oak Ridge area. I moved there full time about 5 years ago. But Oak Ridge is really where my heart is. I have been skiing in Oak Ridge since the 90s. And every time I'd make my way out into the Cascades, I couldn't believe how beautiful it was to be up there. And I had my heart set on retiring there. I'll be 55 this weekend. I'm now living in my dream home, kind of my castle. I've got a 5-acre property right next door to the National Forest. And it is an absolutely lovely community, and I feel so incredibly lucky to be there. I'm also very involved in my community. I've spent probably about 40 years in outdoor recreation and environmental stewardship. I've worked at a national level with REI. I've worked on marketing campaigns, grants programs, and getting people involved on the ground in public land stewardship. And then when they asked me to move to Seattle, I said no thanks. And I came back to Eugene and sort of remade myself as a consultant and began working with nonprofits around the region of Lane County and the greater Willamette Valley. Fast forward, after working with a number of different nonprofits, including the McKenzie River Trust, when I worked to put together the McKenzie River celebration that we had for a couple of years in a row. I now work as the Deputy Director for Willamette Riverkeeper. So I work with watershed-wide issues across the Willamette Valley. I'm also the Executive Director for the Oak Ridge Trails Alliance, which is a nonprofit that I founded back in 2018 to help out with some of the lack of maintenance that was available in the area to address recreational issues. In addition, I've also served for the last 3 years on the Oak Ridge Westford Chamber of Commerce. I was the president for the last couple of years and stepped down this year into vice presidency, and then decided to step off the board to run a campaign. In addition to that, I'm also on the city's Economic Development Committee. And so I do work on greater economic broader issues, including housing and transportation, emergency infrastructure, and of course small business development and regional hubs for emergency services and larger businesses. So I kind of wanted to open this up. I've got like a little stump speech going on, and I might refer back to it, but I think it's better for me to just kind of speak a little bit off the cuff as well. This year, my husband and I had the insurance company, our homeowner's insurance company, call us up, and they brought a photographer out to our house in April. So as you know, it was raining. And the grass was probably 10 feet tall, might be exaggerating a little bit, but on 6 acres of property, the grass gets pretty darn tall. And you can't run a tractor out there, because the tractor will sink. But the insurance company sent a photographer out there to take a good look at our property and to run an inspection on the property, assuming this was due to fire risk. And we've had our homeowner's insurance premium has been raised for the last 2 years, and I'll just say, without notice, it was my bank that said, hey, you didn't put enough in escrow. And when I found out why, it was because our homeowner's insurance policy had actually increased. Well, this year, after they did their photos in April, they gave us a notice in August, with our renewal coming up in November. So about 60 days notice to let us know that we had to do somewhere around $90,000 worth of changes on our property to meet what they thought we needed to do to deal with fire risk. So our house is already set up for fire-wise guidelines. It's been set up like that for years. We've had fire staff come into our property and we've asked what else can we do, and they say nothing, looks great. Trees are trimmed. We've got metal roofs, we've got vegetation away from the home, we've got some hardening around the outside of our house. But we're being asked to do things like put up new siding to increase the amount of flashing that's meeting the side of our house, and several other things that, well, to be honest with you, living out in a rural community, trying to get all those materials or get a contractor out to do the work that needs to be done in 60 days, it ain't happening. We got soffits now up on one side of our house. We've got to put soffits up on 2 more sides of our house. And we're looking for a new insurance company because they don't want to work with us because we're right next door to the national forest. The reason I'm telling you this story is because we're all dealing with these kind of issues. We're all dealing with these kind of issues. So now I'm going to kind of go into my stump speech a little bit here. I just want to let you know I've spent my life advocating for people's voices to be heard. I've helped to protect natural resources across the state, recreational resources. I've been working on the recreational immunity bill. I've also worked to protect small businesses to ensure that small businesses have the resources they needed in order to get started and also to keep going. After COVID, part of my job with the chamber was to really connect people with the resources they need to recover. I'm committed to ensuring that our government's going to work for all of you. And I want to make sure that our government's doing what's right in order to make sure that you get to make decisions about your own body, that you have access to good economic opportunities, and building a resilient community. And so I'm hoping tonight that I can talk a little bit more about how we can achieve that together. I will let you know that personal freedom is a core value for me, and it's also a core value for our state, especially when it comes to reproductive rights. But those rights are under threat right now. And I will say that my opponent is the only candidate in the legislature that is endorsed by the Oregon Right to Life. He's made it clear in interviews that he would work to repeal our constitutional right to abortion. This, I feel, is a direct attack on personal freedom, and it's not reflective of the values of this state or this district. I believe healthcare decisions should remain between a person and their doctor, and whether it's access to birth control, abortion, or essential healthcare, these decisions need to remain in the hands of the individual, not the government. District 12 is built on the backbone of small businesses, as you all know. These are farms, forestry businesses, outdoor recreation, and to ensure economic freedom, we need to make sure that we invest in clean energy and sustainable practices. There are programs like the USDA's Rural Energy for America program and Business Oregon's Energy Loan Program. These help local farmers and businesses reduce their energy costs and help generate revenue with renewable energy systems. This supports our economy, but it also prepares us for the future, and it also provides an area and industry for our youth so that they can have good jobs in the future. Now, Oregon, as you know, is pushing for a 100% clean energy grid with the House Bill 2021, but we need to make sure that everyone is part of that conversation, especially industries like agriculture and forestry. These 5 minutes? Really? 5 minutes? Okay. Well, all right. So bringing everybody to the table, making sure that we have our industries involved in the conversation, and that we can address the machinery that's necessary to have the capacity needed to haul those, and make sure that we can address those issues with long-distance transportation and farmers' needs during the harvest season. I also want to talk just really briefly about a broader approach to tourism, making sure that we strengthen our Main Street corridors, which is something that Ken talked about a little bit earlier. I love the idea of having a regional hub and then being able to connect the dots all across the corridor. And then finally, I just want to speak really quickly to the resiliency and access to the resources we need, such as homeowners insurance, in order to avoid homelessness in our own communities. I hope that I can help to address the climate crisis by upholding Oregon's state resilience plan, which lays out a strategy for improving infrastructure to withstand natural disasters like wildfire. I also support changes in the insurance industry that look something similar to California, where they have a 180-day notification process for the insurance industry instead of just 30 or 60 days to make changes on your property. And they help connect homeowners with the resources they need in order to meet the requirements in those insurance standards. And they require the insurance company to incentivize homeowners to do those things by giving them a lower discount. So that's all part of what California is doing right now in areas like Paradise Valley, where some of those problems have happened. I think I'm coming about to the end of this speech here tonight, yeah. So just real quickly, why am I running for Oregon House District 12? Because I do believe in a future where everyone has the freedom to make their own choices. I believe in strong public schools and a separation between church and state. I don't want to see a voucher program come into our public schools. We have a cat tax right now that is burdensome to our small business owners. I am definitely going to make sure that we review that and we address that. We might look at a tiered approach, or we might look at exemptions for certain types of businesses on the cat tax, but definitely not going to support a voucher program where we're going to be gutting our public school systems and subsidizing wealthy families who already have the money to send their kids to private school. I've spent my life advocating for accountability, sustainability, and fairness in collaboration and partnership across a diverse landscape of perspectives, values, and beliefs. And I hope to bring that passion to Salem. So together, I hope that we can create a future where everyone in our communities can thrive together. And I look forward to building that with all of you. Thank you.